In this video, we'll demonstrate the Crosstabs command in SPSS. As the name of the command suggests, in this command, we will cross two frequency tables. Crosstabs is an abbreviated form of cross tabulation, cross tables. We'll begin by constructing two frequency tables, one for the variable age category and one for the variable sex. We begin on the Analyze command. We scroll to Descriptive Statistics. We choose Frequencies. Notice I've already moved age category and sex into the Variables panel. I'm going to click OK, and the output is two frequency tables. Now notice, in the age category table, there are 365 respondents who are younger than 35. They constitute 24.3% of the respondents in the sample. Going down the table, the 353 who are between 35 and 44 make up 23.5% of the respondents. The 496 who are 45 to 64 are 33.1%, and the 286 who are 65 or older make up 19.1%. Down in the sex table, the 661 males make up 44.1% of the sample, and the 839 females make up 55.9% of the sample. Before we return to the data view to carry out the Crosstabs command, please bear in mind that in any table, the variables that run across the table are in rows. The variables that run down the table are in columns. Now that we've seen the frequency tables for age category and sex separately, let's cross those frequency tables and see how the variables interact. In order to do that, we start on the Analyze command. We scroll to Descriptive Statistics, and we go over to the Crosstabs command. I've already moved age category into the rows panel and sex into the columns panel. This table will have 4 rows corresponding to the 4 age categories we've constructed, and 2 columns corresponding to the male and female columns. I've also already indicated that we want the row and the column percentages displayed in the table. Now we'll click OK, and here we have the cross tabulation of sex running down the columns and age running across the rows. This is going to be a little difficult, but notice there are a total of 365 respondents who are younger than 35. Up here in the original age category frequency table, there were 365 respondents younger than 35. 353 between 35 and 44, 496 between 45 and 64, and 286 65 or older. These totals for the age categories correspond exactly to the frequencies in the age category frequency table. Similarly, there are 661 males and 839 females. Those totals correspond to the frequencies in the sex frequency table. Also, notice that the 661 males constitute 44.1% of the sample, just as The 60 and 61 males up here correspond to 44.1%, and the 839 females here make up 55.9%, and here they make up 55.9%. We can also see that the portion of the sample that is younger than 35 makes up 24.3%. The portion between 35 and 44 is 23.5%. 45 to 64 is 33.1%. And the 65 or older are 19.1%. Those percentages are exactly as they are in the valid percent column of the original frequency table. Now that we've seen the structure of the cross tabulation, let's look at the contents. If we read across the rows of the crosstab, notice that the top row presents the frequencies, the numbers of males and females in this age category. The second row indicates the percentage of the younger than 35s who are male and the percentage of younger than 35s who are female. The sum of the entries in this row must equal 100%. The third row tells us that 23.8% of the males are younger than 35 and 24.8% of the females are younger than 35. Now, if you add up, going down the columns, the entries in the third row of each part of the table, the sum must be 100%. There may occasionally be tables where the number will not be exactly 100%, but that is probably a rounding error. The value of the crosstabs command should be evident. It provides the same information as two separate frequency tables. Moreover, we actually could have included more variables in this table so as to incorporate more than two frequency tables in the same cross tabulation. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, so let's limit our discussion at this point to the cross tabulation of two variables. In addition, in a future unit, we will see how this table is useful for determining if the variables in the table have some sort of relationship to one another. We'll use this as a basis for an important inferential statistical technique, which will come up in a subsequent unit. Okay, that's the crosstabs command in SPSS. It's an important introduction to an analysis of the relationships between variables. There will be further examples in future units.